Hello. Have you ever had dreams that just won't end? Or recurring dreams? Well, let me light my incense to put myself in the mood. Because that's what I want to talk to you about. When I was a kid, I had a kind of terrifying dream that I was in an old house in a room upstairs that was off limits. And it had to do with a dead relative. Well, that was a long time ago, and I'm glad that that's behind me, because it was always nightmarish. Today I want to talk to you about something a little more fun, but they are recurring dreams, and I hope that you'll be thinking about your own recurring dreams. I have this dream that's a little discouraging, disturbing, but not terribly so. It ends well. But a little backstory first. I was 32, and we bought a very large old Victorian house. I did. My wife was not working, we had kids, and so it was my paycheck only, but this house was very, very interesting, very beautiful, something that we were very proud of, kind of well known in the community. And in my divorce, it came to me. Basically, the judge gave me everything. Well, that's the backstory. Bringing it up to current periodic dreams, I go back to this house. I am going back just to see if it's okay, because in my real life, I left the house behind when I moved to another city and rented the house to a young couple. And eventually I needed to just sell it. It was a mess to have to deal with it. And so reluctantly I sold the house. But now in my recurring dream, I go back. And every time I go back, it's a different house. It's not the same house. It's not even the same color. But what does happen is that the house is in bad repair. Sometimes it's weeds, the lawn is terrible, sometimes it just needs repainted, sometimes the roof is bad, and so on my trips back to this house, I'm considering going back permanently. But that's in the background. So I have to deal with the problems that I find, and by the end of the dream, all of that is resolved. I know, painting the house, it's all done. New roof, done. So that, in a way, is kind of therapeutic for me, because it was hard for me to leave that house, to sell it. And I think of it often, but that was just a lucky time of my life. So, one down, couple more to go. This is a dream of a similar nature, but it involves my parents. Now, back to 2000, maybe, my father had decided to, well, he was a farmer, and he had decided to turn the farm over to a promising young farmer, and Mom and Dad bought a newer house in a neighboring town, small town, where Dad was well known. He knew a lot of the business people there. And that was a happy time for them. I visited often, because I knew I wouldn't have to feed cattle or change irrigation pipe. But at that house, my father had made sure I had a key, so that if I ever came through town and they weren't there at the moment, then I could let myself in. Well, in the dream, that is exactly what I do. I arrive, no one's home, they're on their way from the other house, the other farm. They're there every other weekend. Well, so I'm snooping around the new house, and I discover a secret door in the living room, and you would never believe what I find behind that door. I find another whole house inside their house. Well, this is probably triggered by the fact that that house had a basement, which had been modified to be a rentable apartment. It had a couple of bedrooms, a nice kitchen, and bathroom. And maybe that's what caused this dream of mine. So I go inside this magic door and I find a huge other whole house inside their house. It's not an apartment, and it's not little, and it's not the basement. It's right on the main floor. It's a one-floor house. I envision, I kind of think of the Golden Girls. It had that style on the outside, and there I was looking around this beautiful inside house. Okay, so I think right away this is a gold mine for me. Well, I decide not to tell them because I have a feeling that they don't know about it. I just know that they don't. And I lay some hands, I ask stuff, and no, they don't know about it. So I decide to make it mine. And I have a key of the house. And I devise a plan where I can quit my job, or at least take very long vacations, and come out to this part of the state and have a place to live, and they don't know I'm even there. Is that cool or what? Well, that's all. I mean, over the years I've had this dream repeatedly, and I sometimes wallpaper a bedroom or change the kitchen, or I make little adjustments, new lamps, some new furniture, all at times when I know they're going to be away. They didn't live there permanently. In real life, they didn't live there permanently for a couple more years. They just back and forthed it. Okay, so that's dream number 2. Dream number 2. At the time of my divorce, I had a good job. I was a sales rep for a company and a company car. But within the year after our divorce, I decided I needed a change of pace. I decided to move across the state to a bigger city. And in this dream, I do that without telling my boss at my job. That was 1985. So now, this many years later, I'm still driving their car, but not going to work. Well, in that job, I didn't have to. I worked from home. I covered a territory that I decided where to go, depending on where I thought I could make a big sale. It was one of those kind of jobs. But I went into the office about, I don't know, I was about 20 miles away, 25. And I would go into the office whenever they had a meeting or just for whatever I needed. They reimbursed me for expenses. And in this dream, I'm nervous because I don't think they understand that while I still have their car, I'm not working for them. I don't go to work ever. And they keep sending me checks. Well, then, in my dream, these dreams that keep recurring, periodically I go to staff meetings, sales meetings, training, whatever, new products. And I show up, they say, "Hi, how you doing? Where you been?" They'll ask specific questions like, "How's that deal going with First National Bank? Are you getting on with so-and-so?" I say, "Oh yeah, we're about to get a signature on that, and it was going to be a big sale." And they're all happy. Not a word about the fact that I haven't been there for 40 years. 1985. How long is that? Oh my God, 30 at least. Not a word. I'm still driving my blue Ford LTD. Theirs. That's a weird dream, and it always makes me really nervous, as you can imagine, in the dream. But you know, the meetings end and we go home, and I breathe a sigh of relief, and I can get back to my life of doing nothing. That is story number 3. Dream number 3. Now, the next one that I have infrequently, also involves a car, but in this case, it's a car that I had not that long ago. It was my first of 2 Chrysler convertibles, and I really love that car. I had it a long time, but in the dream, I drive it to a meeting or some event. But when the event is over, I go out and I can't find my car. Now, this isn't like parking at Walmart and you forget, was it over there or over there? No, this is miles away. I'm like in the rolling hills of Kentucky. I don't know where I'm at. It doesn't matter so much, but the fact that I don't have my car panics me. I eventually find it hours later over that hill and down that road, but by now it's snowing. It's always snowing in this dream. And I'm glad to find the car, but then I'm still lost. I don't know where I'm at. I got the car, I have my keys, it's running nicely, put the top back up, and my dream ends about that time. That is never a fun dream. But that was 4. I have lit some incense because it's just a habit I have, even out here on the patio. This is called Sangre de Dragon. Sangre, it's dragon's blood. It's okay, it's kind of sweet. The same theme on the next recurring dream is that I've been away from my job. Now in this case, it's First Data. Some of you listening might remember I did work there, 16 years. And I still wish I was there, actually. It was a great time of my life. I love the people, but in this dream I've been away. The same thing. It's been I've been away for years, and yet I'm again, like before, I'm still working at that place. Well, no, not exactly. I'm getting a paycheck and I'm not working. But every now and then I go back into the office and pretend to be still an employee there. Well, the terrifying part is Well, for one thing, my old friends aren't there. Gail, you're not there. Mark isn't there. Roy, Jerry, Brad, Jennifer, Corinne, none of you are there. But yet, those who are there recognize me. Oh, yeah, he said, well, I don't know what they say to me. I think most of the time they don't even look up. You know, I'm just there for the day. I mean, I'm going back to work as we always did. You say good morning to some people and you sit down at your place. And that's part of the problem here. I had lost my nice cubicle. I'm just put over there in a corner someplace. I never know. And I have to finally ask somebody. That's terrifying. Did you move my stuff? Yeah, we put you over here by Janice. And Janice knows who I am. I have no idea who she is. But she's pleasant to me and kind, and she gets me going again. And I start my computer, and nothing is familiar. It's all strange. I have papers and stuff to do, and I have no clue where to start. That is a dream that I'm very happy to end. Now, that was 5. 6 is kind of recurring, and I'll end on a good note. Not so confusing. And by the way, I'm not practiced with this. I'm just talking out of, at the moment, ad-libbing, purely ad-libbing. I wrote down some things and I thought, well, okay, I'll probably have forgotten a couple, but I have 2 important exes in my life. Ex-wife was Kathy. In an occasional dream, she shows up, and she's so nice to me. We have a laugh or two, and we talk about, I don't know, something current. She's now remarried, and but in the dream, we take off alone and do something. I don't know, probably in that convertible again. And we go out to do something. You know, we were always very good as a team. We were good if we had some project. We were not very good with quiet moments. Well, anyway, that's kind of cool that I could be on those terms, at least in my imagination. And I think in real life she's, we've had some contact, and you know, like my kid, we had 2 kids, and they had graduations from high school, from college, and 2 weddings. And every time, those were always really fun times. There was another ex. I won't mention his name, but the same thing in my dream. We have just the best laughs. He was such a storyteller and funny and smart, and we we had a good life together. I was with Paul. Oops, I shouldn't have said David's name. We were together almost as long as Kathy and I. 15 with Kathy, and 11 with Paul. And it's just always been a good experience to have him be friendly. I sometimes think I didn't deserve any forgiveness from them or any fond memories, but I think they probably have plenty. I sure do. And that's all for now. I'll probably think of something later. I know this is kind of like what people sometimes say, oh, do you want to hear about my surgery? Oh, would you like to see pictures of my kids, my granddaughter? Would you like to see my new puppy? And there's always that one, oh, I had this terrible dream last night. And then before you can say no, they're into it. Thanks for listening. Kind of fun to think about. And I want you to think about something that you probably have recurring dreams too. Let me know in the comment section. Click like and leave a comment. Bye.